Like expected, I think. Eventful game with many goals. I think everybody expected that before the game. For two reasons, maybe. One of the reasons, I think two managers always want to press high, want to bring the ball out from the back. So sometimes you see then certain mistakes, but it's always eventful. And for the other reason, because both teams, maybe mainly ours, was not playing in the setup that we usually do. So then you see in some moments that we defend in a way what probably is not expected if we play with all of our starters. But still, in the end, we were able to definitely make a game out of it. With all, especially in the end, with all these youngsters on the pitch. So eventful would be my word to use.
It's the first time that Federico Chiesa's completed 90 minutes. Did that feel like a big step forward for him tonight? And he seems to be getting a lot sharper.
Yeah, and he got a knock with the penalty, so that took him a few minutes before he kept going again. But I think it's been 7, 8 or 9 months ago, maybe even longer. I don't know exactly. He played 90. It's the same for Jaden Dance. It was the same for James McConnell. So we had quite a lot of players that were not used to playing so many minutes in the last 6 or 7 months. So it's especially for them also important that they make these 90 minutes. And were able to keep competing during 90 minutes. Okay, Jaden couldn't manage to play the whole game. But Federico, in the end, was still sprinting, trying to do his work. So positive, yeah.
You must have a hell of a lot of sympathy for the poor lad who's just come on there, only played 4 minutes. What could you say to him to lift the spirits? Because it's so cruel, really, what happened to him at the end.
Come on. Yeah, it's cruel, but he's never played first-team football yet. And then to make your debut at the Champions League level is probably the hardest way of making your debut. And yeah, I think he misinterpreted the situation. Yeah, and that is immediately a problem at this level or a Premier League level. So it's a big moment for him to learn from. And it is cruel indeed. You think in a moment like this, 10 minutes for the end, I'm going to make my debut not in the Premier League, in the Champions League. And a few minutes later you go off with a red card. That is always difficult. But yeah, a career mainly is not always positive. There are also negatives, and he has to fight very hard to make sure he will ever play a second Champions League game again, which is not going to be easy, but hopefully he will.
Hi, Arne. Do you think there's a chance that any of the young players that played tonight might be allowed to go out on loan before the transfer deadline?
There's always a chance in life. And at the moment we have most of our players fit, so we will have this discussion tomorrow, I think, me and Richard, about these players, but there's definitely one of them that will not go on loan, and I think you know which one I mean.
Jaden?
James McConnell. I wouldn't say definitely, but I liked him a lot today. So maybe now the end result of today is would be good for him to go somewhere and play. But he is also a player that hasn't played in the last 6 or 7 months 90 minutes because he was injured for a while. And he impressed me a lot today.
I mean, finishing top of the group, obviously, you spoke, you don't know what it'll be an advantage when you play the next round, but just a general achievement, it is a big achievement to be top.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't know if it's a big achievement, but it's a good achievement to end up top of this league. But I said many times, it's so hard to judge a league table after 8 games, let alone if all the teams play different opponents. So it doesn't tell me much, to be honest, because some teams have faced easier opponents than others. So. But it's always nice if there's a new format that you end up number 1, but it doesn't give us any assurances for the next round, because if I then now check the league table and I see the 4 teams, if I'm correct, we can face 4, can't we? That's the difference between P3, which I don't completely understand. But we can face those 4, and those 4 are especially. One of them is definitely one you're hoping not to face if you end up first in a group like this.